Hey friends, Michael Warren here from Essential Guitar Lessons, and let's learn all about music theory for guitarists. This is part 8, so make sure you've watched all the other parts before you tackle this one, and I'll put a link in the description for you. Don't forget, if you like this lesson, to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and check out my YouTube channel, Essential Guitar Lessons. Lots of songs and lessons for all levels, and new videos uploaded weekly, and I'll also put a link in the description for that. Now, if you have any problems with this lesson, please leave a comment and let me know, and I'll get back to you. So in the last lesson, we learned how to work out intervals. Today we'll finish that off with compound intervals and inverting intervals, and both of these are quite easy. So let's start with compound intervals. And all that means is an interval larger than an octave. So the intervals we did in the last lesson are called simple intervals, and they were all in one octave. But we can name the intervals larger than an octave as well. And there's two ways we can name them, and we'll look at both. So the first way is just work out the interval like it's in one octave. So the way we did it in the last lesson, and then just write compound in front of it. So let's have a look at that. So if I had C to E, which would be a major third, if the E is an octave higher, it's now called a compound major third. So what we have to do is add compound in front of the major third. If we were to do C to G, so if the G is now an octave higher, it would be called a compound perfect fifth. If we had C to A flat, we work it out the same as we did before, and this time it would be a compound minor sixth. And this goes for every interval: perfect, major, minor, diminished or augmented. So that's easy. Whatever the interval was in the octave, if it's now an octave higher, we just put compound in front of it. So compound augmented second, or compound perfect fourth. So nice and easy, we're just putting compound in front of it. The next way, the quality will stay the same, so still perfect, major, minor, augmented or diminished, but we'll change the number. So let's do C to E again. So C to E is a major interval, but this time we're going to count from C to E an octave higher. So remember, when you do the count, the first note is 1. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. So this time we're up to 10. So it would be a major 10th interval. So our count's changed, it's now the 10th, but the quality stays the same. It's still a major 10th, where C to E was a major third before. Let's do C to G, which is a perfect interval. We know that's a perfect fifth. So we do our count again, but we're going to take the G to the next interval. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So we have a count of 12. Remember to count the C as number 1. So that'll be a perfect 12th interval. The quality stays the same again. It was a perfect fifth. Now it's a perfect 12th, just the count has changed. So let's do C to D flat, which would be a minor second interval. So we do our count again: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. So that would be a count of 9, so the quality stays the same, it's still a minor. Now it would be a minor 9th interval. So that works for all our qualities, it's just the number that's changing. So major, minor, perfect, augmented or diminished there. So the quality always stays the same, like it was in the octave. And if you want to work out the number really quickly, just add 7 to the original number. So a second would become a 9th, a 6th would become a 13th, a 4th would become an 11th, a 5th would be a 12th. So that's really easy. Just add 7 to your first number. So that's compound intervals, and that's pretty easy. Just add compound to the interval in the same octave. So we could have a compound augmented second, or a compound diminished fifth, or just add 7 to the number and the quality always stays the same. So if we've got a perfect fifth, add 7 on there, now we'd have a perfect 12th. So that's compound intervals, pretty easy to work out. So let's have a look at inverting intervals, and all that means is taking the lower note and making it the higher note. So if I was to do C to F, just put the C above the F, so now it would be F to C. If I was doing G to D, just put the G above the D, and now it's D to G. So just take the lower note and put it up an octave and make it the higher note. So let's do that on the guitar. Our G would be a 3rd fret on the top E string. if we wanted to work out a perfect fifth, that's really easy. That's the D on the A string, so 5th fret. So then I just swap those around. I'm going to make the G the higher note, which would be on the D string, the 5th fret. So now we have D and G. So pretty easy to do on the guitar. Let's do another one quickly. We had F and C, another perfect fifth. If I was to swap that around, I now have C and F. So the F becomes the higher note. We're making the lower note now the higher note. So this is pretty easy as well. Let's start with the quality. Now when you do this, a perfect interval stays a perfect interval. That never changes. A major becomes a minor, and a minor becomes a major. Diminished becomes augmented, and augmented becomes diminished. Now this will make sense as we get into it. Now for the number, that has to add up to 9, and again this will make sense as we start to do them. So let's do C to G, which we know is a perfect fifth. So we're now going to have G as the lower note, C as a higher note. So as we said, the perfect interval stays the same. It's still a perfect. So it's still a perfect, and because it's a 5, just take 5 away from 9 and that equals 4. So it's a perfect fourth interval, G to C. So you can see the number adds to 9. 5 plus 4 equals 9. So G to C is a perfect fourth. Let's do another. So if we were to take C to F and then we swap it around, so F's now the lowest note, we have F to C. C to F's a perfect fourth, so it stays a perfect, and then we just take 4 from 9 and we end up with 5, so F to C is a perfect fifth. Let's do C to A, which is a major sixth interval. Now if we swap that around, make it A to C, so C is now the highest note. Remember we did with major, we make it minor, so now it's a minor quality, and 9 take away 6 gives us 3, so we have a minor third, A to C. Remember, just add 6 and 3 together and that gives you 9. What if we did C to B flat, which is a minor 7th interval? So we make it B flat to C. This time minor becomes major, we swap our qualities. So we have a major quality. Then we have 9 take away 7 and we end up with 2. So we have a major second interval there, B flat to C. Let's do C to G flat, which would be a diminished fifth interval there. Make it G flat to C, so we're putting the C up an octave, making that higher. Diminished now becomes augmented, and then we just take 5 from 9, and that gives us 4 there, so we have an augmented fourth interval there, G flat to C. Let's do one more, let's do C to F sharp. That'd be an augmented fourth interval. Make it F sharp to C, so we've inverted it. Our augmented now becomes diminished. 4 from 9 equals 5, so it's diminished fifth interval there. So that's pretty easy. Perfect stays perfect, major becomes minor, minor becomes major, augmented becomes diminished, diminished becomes augmented, and just take the number away from 9 and we get our new number there. So that's all pretty easy. That's compound intervals and inverting intervals. Pretty easy to understand, but another important theory concept we want to remember there. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.